God created marriage. God created marriage. This is where Jesus starts. When he's asked about marriage and divorce, he says in verse 4, "Have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female and said, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." So they're no longer two, but one flesh. So Jesus takes us all the way back to the very beginning of the Bible, chapter 2, where God creates man and woman, actually in chapter 1, and then brings them together in this union called marriage. Like, think about it. God didn't have to create us this way as men and women. He didn't have to create marriage this way as one man and one woman coming together in a one flesh union. But he does. And as he does, God defines marriage from the beginning for our good. So let me pause there in your notes, because I trust we realize we live in a country that officially denies this. For millennia, civilizations have accepted God's definition of marriage as an exclusive, permanent union of a man and a woman. And about 25 years ago, we reiterated that definition in our country across party lines, what was called a Defense of Marriage Act. But then 6 years ago, our Supreme Court struck down key provisions of that act, and the way was paved for the redefinition of marriage across our country. In a way that one prominent professing Christian church leader said, this is a huge moment when lots of us are realizing that the old way of seeing things doesn't work. Our country, even professing Christian leaders among us, have said the old way, the way God defined marriage in the beginning, doesn't work. It is appalling audacity to come along thousands of years after God created and defined marriage, 2,000 years after Jesus reiterated that definition, and to say in the last 6 years, we've discovered God's ways don't work and we have come up with something better. And to say that while professing to be a Christian, God help us. From the beginning of creation, God has defined marriage for our good, so let's trust and submit to his word. Oh, see the beauty of God's definition of marriage, a man and woman both masterfully molded in the image of their maker with equal dignity and complementary roles coming together to form one flesh, a physical, emotional, and spiritual fitting together of two as one with powerful unity in diversity, shared equality with variety, personal satisfaction through shared consummation. Mark it down. We don't need to look to any court or government to define marriage. God has already done that for our good, and his definition cannot be eradicated by a vote of politicians or the opinions of Supreme Court justices. The supreme judge of creation has defined marriage, and we gladly trust and submit to his word.